Hey, welcome to the Original Brew Collective podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Ben.
And I'm Robert.
And we are on another episode where we are reviewing a different beer from a different brewery. And we are really excited. We're drinking a beer from Bottle Logic today. So, Robert, do you want to tell us a little bit more about the beer we're drinking?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Bottle Logic, if you've never heard of them, you need to hear of them, and you have now. So, step one, done. Congratulations. They're located in Anaheim, California. I actually, when I got this release, I picked up a few bottles because they're highly sought after, and so I was able to make a handful of trades for some other incredible stouts, which we'll get into at a different episode or something. Very excited. But today we are drinking Bottle Logic. We're drinking Fundamental Observation, which is a barrel-aged Imperial Vanilla Stout. So this one specifically was released this year, 2019, actually not too long ago, a couple months ago, I believe. But it's made with it's an Imperial Stout with Madagascar vanilla beans and aged in a blend of bourbon barrels, coming in at 13.55 ABV. Really excited, like we said, this is going to be our first review of a Bottle Logic. I, at one point, was able to go to Bottle Logic on a Disneyland trip because it's Anaheim, Disneyland, Bottle Logic, you have to do it. So yeah, this is going to be the first one we reviewed. This one, just for reference, and they have all these like indicators on their labels, is good for cellaring and saving if you choose, and not to be confused with celery or anything. No involvement in celery. When I say cellaring, just put it in the cellar. It does
sound a little similar.
Yeah, it does. So to avoid any confusion, or you can drink it fresh. It actually, I think they do recommend that this one will be better if you cellar and save, but we're drinking it fresh. Sorry.
We don't want to wait.
No, we don't want to wait. We're too excited. Plus, I may or may not have another one that will be aging.
Ooh.
So, yeah. So, I will crack this one open. Ben, do you want to describe what kind of like the label looks like?
Yeah, there is actually, so if you're just, if you're not watching, if you're just listening, the label is actually pretty, there's a lot going on with the label.
It kind of looks like a piece of parchment paper, right?
Yeah, it looks like a piece of parchment paper. It's really cool graphically. There's a lot going on, but there's a Bottle Logic logo on there and it has a light bulb for their logo and it says Bottle Logic, and it's like a teal, blue, and silver art, and it has just a bunch of random graphics on it with different sayings, and I don't know exactly what it says, but I think it looked like it was kind of like a fun saying about the beer itself, but it's cool. I like it. I like the way they put it together.
Yeah.
I remember we had another stout of theirs, and it looked similar to that. So I think they have
it's the theme. They're sticking with the theme. I think I'm going to have to give Ben a little bit more. It was a little heavy on the pour for myself. Knowing Teku, that's probably about half. So today, I'm going to be, oh my gosh, I can smell it already. It smells incredible. Today, I'm going to be drinking out of the classic Teku. Ben, what are you drinking out of?
I am drinking this out of a snifter.
Yeah, which is, some might argue that's actually the better glassware for this beer. But Teku is just a good piece of glassware for trying any beer, really.
Yeah, definitely.
So the color on this one, this poured really dark, looking really dark.
Yep.
Like motor oil dark. And the head it's a tan, but I feel like in comparison to some of the other stouts we've had recently, it's a little bit of a slightly darker tan.
Yeah.
At least around the sides.
It's great head retention though.
Yeah, awesome head retention. That head, when you swirl it around the glass, the beer around the glass, leaving a nice, thick, heavy coating. Takes a while to go away. I feel like it's above average.
It looks creamy.
Yeah, it does. It looks heavy, which I really like. And let's see what we get on the nose.
Yeah.
You can smell the bourbon.
You can.
Yeah, absolutely. Smells like chocolate.
Yeah, I was gonna say cacao. Chocolate.
Yeah. This one smells really good.
I'm not getting a whole lot of vanilla.
No, I'm not picking up on any sweetness on the nose from the vanilla.
I'm getting mostly chocolate and bourbon.
Yeah. Wanna try it?
Yeah, let's do it. Wow.
That is super good, and there's a lot of vanilla, actually.
There is.
I'm getting a ton of vanilla, and like right up front, tons of vanilla, and you get the nice bourbon characteristics. I'm not getting a whole lot of, I guess on the back end, there's a mild, like, cacao chocolate notes. This is very good so far, and I'm really excited. I think this is definitely only going to get better as it warms up and it opens up a bit.
This is really good.
I know why this is so highly rated. I think it's about a 4.5 on Untappd.
I will say, because you can definitely smell the bourbon, but it doesn't burn that much.
Yeah.
Drinking it.
No, it doesn't. It's smooth.
Yeah.
You know what? As the flavors kind of linger in my mouth after taking the last sip I just took, I'm almost getting like a little bit of a chocolate and coffee profile also.
Yeah.
This is good.
I could definitely get the coffee as well.
Yeah. This is a really good beer.
I like this a lot.
What do you think about the mouthfeel?
It's, I would say medium heavy. It's not super heavy to me.
Yeah, we've had heavier. I would say medium heavy for sure. Maybe I would actually say light heavy or heavy.
Okay.
But in comparison to other beers we've had as of late, actually, I agree with you in comparison. It
is pretty creamy though.
Yeah, it is.
It has that creamy, because the head looks super creamy, and the mouthfeel it's a creamy mouthfeel, which is really nice.
Yeah. When we were, I think the last 2 episodes, we were filming on vacation, from a vacation home, and on that trip, we didn't review it, but we did have another bottle logic that we got, and that was... It had an interesting name, like Astronomica something. It was a coconut themed one, and it was very good.
That one was pretty. I remember that one being pretty thick.
Yeah. And we drank that one on the beach.
We did.
A perfect place to drink a coconut.
Yeah, that was great.
On the beach.
That was fantastic.
Speaking of which, so we filmed the last 2 from a vacation home in Sea Ranch, California, which is on the northern coast. You might notice if you're watching with us right now on YouTube, we do have a different setting right now. So this is the music room. So we are currently out of our original filming room. We are temporarily in what we like to call the music room. So you notice on the wall behind us, it's an ugly brown, but ignore that. We didn't paint it that.
Yeah.
It came like that.
Yeah.
We have a symbol. We have a bunch of really great albums, actually. So we have, moving from your left if you're watching, you can't really see fully, but we have Ray Charles, we have the Fleet Foxes, not the biggest fan.
Oh, okay.
Ben loves Fleet Foxes.
I do.
My wife loves the Fleet Foxes. That's where I live right there. Frank Sinatra, good old Bob Marley. We have Codaline, which is arguably one of my favorite albums.
It's a great album.
Ben loves it as well.
Yeah.
Then the Beatles, classic Abbey Road. So we have a bunch of vinyls hung up in frames. So we're at the music room.
We're in good company.
Yeah, we are in good company. Hey, Frank. Frank's eyeing our beer. Frank Sinatra up there.
That's funny.
And then you can't see this, not in your shot. We have a piano. We have a cello. We have a bunch of guitars, some ukuleles. If you're Polynesian or Filipino or an islander, maybe you call it an ukulele. Teach their own. And then actually, so I should correct myself. This is the music room / homebrewing room, because over there in the corner where you can't see, we have a kegerator and everything you need to make your own homebrews. So it's the music room, homebrewing room.
It's a great room.
Yeah, it's a really great room. Good vibes going on in here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we have a fun fact. Every episode we do a fun fact.
Yeah.
And so today's fun fact is, at any given time, 0.7% of the world is drunk, which means right now 50 million people are drunk.
It's not surprising.
Yeah, a few more sips and we're going to make it 50 million and 2.
That's a lot though.
Yeah, I mean
like
the world
50
is
million.
billions, right?
I wonder if is that on average? Like
yeah. I mean that's a statistic, so it's like an average.
Because I wonder how much it goes up on the weekends. You know?
Yeah, actually.
But 50 million at any given time. Oh my goodness.
I feel like your window would be greater. Like wherever is ahead, or wait, I guess wherever is behind. Whatever is like the most lagging in the world, we are behind, like from other regions of the world.
Yeah, are we the most behind? Like the USA?
I feel like we don't want to sound dumb. We shouldn't get into this topic. But whoever is the furthest behind, probably their Friday evening would be the most, because those other people at least are still probably on the weekend.
Yeah, I feel like we are the most behind. Because when you're during New Year's, all the different countries. But I don't know if Hawaii. Anyways,
Hawaii is a few hours behind us.
Is it? Okay, so I think Hawaii.
I think it might be 2 hours.
Interesting.
Behind California time, Pacific.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But that's fun. Dang, dude, 50 million.
And now 50 million. And someone just ordered up, and another person, and now 50 million.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Fun fact.
That is fun.
It
I like
is.
that.
It is, and it's fun for those 50 million people too.
Yeah, I'm
unless
sure
they're
it
too
is.
drunk.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. So, what are we talking about today, then?
So today we there's something that I kind of want to talk about. And
Okay.
So we did this before where it was just whatever we wanted to talk about and not really have something set. And so it doesn't just have to be on this. We can expand it past this.
Yeah.
But have you ever heard of the singularity, of what that is?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So, and I just want to hear like what your thoughts are on it. So I'll explain it to you what it is.
Okay.
So this is going back, we had an episode where we talked about technology.
Yeah.
So the singularity is pretty much when humans, because technology is advancing every single day. And like that's the point of technology. The point of technology is to continue advancing. And so the singularity is when humanity and technology essentially become one. And what that means is like humans create a technology that is essentially a human.
AI, right? Like,
AI, but it's like...
Because they say AI exists, but isn't AI actually
AI
like...
does exist.
I thought AI was artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
where it's actually like learning. Like, did you ever see the
Yeah,
movie?
Exactly.
I'm probably going to say the name wrong, but it's like Ex Machina or Ex Machina.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was in that movie. If you've never seen it, and I won't give it away too much. It's a really good movie. You should watch it. It's on Netflix. Yeah, it's on Netflix. But it's about AI and this guy. Essentially, he's like the creator of a major search engine like Google, and his goal is to create like the first actual AI. And so it's not a human, but would pass as a human and be like undetectable. So that's what you're referring to.
So this is
right?
essentially. And so what it is it's kind of, I forget who it was or who it is. I just was kind of reading on it and heard about it and looked it up, but it's like it's predicted that in 2030 or 2040 that we're going to be at this point, and that's not that far away.
No.
And so, but what that means is we're as humans, and obviously not us, but humankind is going to create something. It's going to be the best creation that they could ever create, and it's essentially going to be replicating what a human is as a robot.
Yeah.
And so what that means is when they create that robot, and it's just called the singularity, but when they create that, those are going to start making things that are better than themselves, but not something that humans could create. Does that make sense? And so when that starts happening, humans are gonna... It's like the decline.
That's where I get confused, though, is how can a machine create... I mean, I guess our just minds can't comprehend it.
Because we're creating something that can create, is where it's gonna get. Because it's going to be essentially...
But it's
human.
only going to know as much as we know or as much as we can teach it. As much as the
But that's the
world
thing.
has to offer.
But that's the thing. Technology knows so much more than us already. Because, I mean, if you have Wi-Fi, I guess. Because if Google knows vastly more than I could ever know.
Right. Okay, so yeah, I agree. But to the point where, like, it only knows as much as all humans know combined. Mm-hmm. Right?
I don't know.
That's interesting now.
But what it's predicted is that, because technology is always learning.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, kind of like that movie, you know, it's going to learn more than humans could ever even comprehend. And I don't know, I just heard about it and thought it was pretty interesting.
Where did you hear that?
I heard it in a podcast that I was listening to,
mm-hmm.
and then I saw some articles on it
that
I was reading about. So...
Yeah, I don't think it's that far off. You know what I think is actually...
It's kind of crazy.
You know what I think is interesting, though, is you think AI is the future and having like these robots that look like humans and they're indistinguishable. But I also think that the future is going towards... what is that called? The alternate reality?
Like a different...
AR. Right? AR.
Oh,
so
VR.
like when you VR, virtual reality.
Yeah.
Right, thank you. So virtual reality. So you have like everyone probably knows of Oculus, so like those goggle things that you put on. But there are like virtual clubs and stuff that actually do already exist. And so random. I was watching this documentary, and Paris Hilton DJs. I don't know if she's good. I would suspect no, but she actually does DJ, and her and a team of people.
You said this was a documentary?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a documentary on like influencers.
Okay.
And her and like this team are working on creating this virtual reality where, and I think they're already doing it in test phases at least, where she literally has her like avatar, and she like puts on her goggles and simulators or whatever it be, and she literally is DJing in this VR world, and everyone plugs in. Everyone at home plugs in.
And this is already happening?
They're already testing it, working and building it. They're
okay.
building it out, and they showed, at least in the documentary, they were showing it and stuff like what it looks like. So they made it look like it was already there. I don't know what bugs or whatnot they're working through, or what step they're on, but they showed you what it was like, and it was literally, she had an avatar, she's up on this stage DJing, none of it's actually real, and you can log in from home, put on your Oculus or whatever it is, and go into that world and like interact with other people and stuff.
Why do I want to go to that?
It's like that movie, Ready Player One.
Ready Player One.
It's like that, and that is, I mean, that's for sure going to be the thing.
So here's a question.
Sporting events, Oculus, you can watch. I can attend sporting events and sit front and center, and not have to pay. Like, you pay for your subscription to the, like, you know, whatever streaming service or sports streaming service it is, like ESPN or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that sitting at sporting events is going to kind of become irrelevant too.
Yeah.
They can sell those up front row seats. They can tier those package plans for the sporting event streaming services, where they can sell that same seat over and over and over again for less, but making way more money than someone who's actually going to go pay $1,000 for that front row seat.
Yeah.
So I think that's absolutely where the future is going to be.
Yeah. Okay, here's a question.
Yeah.
Do you think, I think it's kind of crazy how it seems as though Hollywood, and not necessarily Hollywood, but in movies and shows, it kind of predicts stuff that happens. So do you think it's like Black Mirror? There's a lot of stuff in that show that it's kind of starting to happen. Like there's talks of, there's an episode where someone has an implant in their eye, and there's talks about technology coming out where you are going to be able to get that, or something in your ear, like just an earpiece. I don't know. And it seems like there's these like movies come out and that are predicting the future. And
That's been happening for years.
Exactly,
like,
but do you think it's based? Do you think Hollywood somehow knows?
No.
Or do you think it's based off of that? They're like, oh, that'd be a cool thing that we could create.
I think that it could potentially be an influencer on the fact, like, hey, like, we could actually do that. Like, once we get the technology. But I also think that it's realistic things that could happen, and these authors are kind of like coming up with it, but within a decent amount of reason.
Or they hear about something,
yeah,
and expand on it. And I do think, thinking about it, because people in Hollywood are very creative people, and so people who know how to do tech see that and they're like, oh, we could actually make that happen,
right?
And since it's happened in this movie or whatever, people would want it. I don't know. So
I know you were.
Interesting.
I don't know what you were actually referencing when you mentioned the thing in your ear, but you know there are these little, like, I guess I'll call them headphones or headsets kind of situation. I think they're used by some like intense military, like I don't know if it's Navy SEALs or what. It's a little pad they stick onto their like jaw, around their jawbone, cheekbone, and they hear in their ear.
Oh, really?
It picks up the audio and it vibrates the bone.
Yeah.
And it's like they have an earpiece so that they can hear everything perfectly. Like if
so you're not interfering.
So that you can hear what's around you perfectly, but you also are hearing as if you're wearing headphones.
It would be interesting. Like, I wonder all the tech that militaries have.
I'm sure it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had conversations multiple times with people about how I think learning a language is going to become obsolete. Because for years we've had the technology on our phones, and granted it has not been up to par, but to like say things and have it translate, usually the translation has been poor. I've talked to a few people that said they've used that technology on their phones in the last 2 years, and they said it was spot on, where the other user completely in these foreign countries completely understood what their phone was saying to them.
That's kind of cool though.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be obsolete, or learning languages will be obsolete, and especially like, the cheekbone thing and these other options. And actually, AirPods. People who have AirPods are always walking around wearing them. So what's preventing
so cool.
Apple from, using those as a translator? And so you could be talking to someone and in a different language and they're just translating it right in your ear.
Wow.
Yeah. The future.
It's here.
It's here. It's now. The future is now. So, speaking of the future and now, which is now, so 10 minutes ago we're talking about how this beer is going to be great when it opens up. We're now in the future. It's now. The future is now.
This all makes sense.
What are you thinking?
I'm going to take another sip.
I'm getting a lot more vanilla, actually, even now, which is nice. I feel like it's a lot more bold. Like, you take your sip, you get vanilla, and then it just kind of gradually comes in more and more.
There's a lot of vanilla.
There's a lot of vanilla. It's way more bold. Like mid-sip. Mm-hmm. It just kind of just keeps growing and growing. It's really good.
I'm getting mostly vanilla and not really that much chocolate anymore.
And it's not like a generic vanilla, though. It's like a complex... it's an incredible vanilla flavor on this. A really good vanilla profile.
Yeah,
on this
for
beer.
sure.
Once again, we are drinking an incredible beer from Bottle Logic. This is Fundamental Observations, coming in at 13.5 ABV. This is a barrel-aged Imperial Vanilla Stout brewed in a blend of bourbon barrels. If you're watching, holding it up once more. Very good beer. If you can get your hands on it, do so. You know what? If you want it, I might be able to get it. So if you're interested and want to do a trade, let me know and I'll see if I can get more. It's not super hard to come by in our area just because I think that the one place that got it, not a lot of people realize have it. And so it's been there for a while. But usually, I in the comments on Instagram and stuff, I see that people are looking for this one. So if you're interested, let me know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll broker a trade. I've already sent off a few of these.
Nice.
Yeah. I think we're gonna enjoy the rest of this.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's opened up really nice. Even
It's
more
really
vanilla.
good.
The vanilla profile, like we said, is incredible on this one. We're gonna keep sipping this one. Thank you so much for joining. If you want to follow us on social media, Ben, where can they follow us?
You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Original Brew Collective, and then on Twitter at Brew Original. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel.
Yes, please.
The podcast.
And you can thumbs up, rate,
Thumbs up, rate our
review,
podcast.
comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, wherever you're streaming the podcast, if you're streaming the podcast, feel free to subscribe and review as well. We always love to hear from you and appreciate any review. You can actually follow us on our own personal Instagrams. We have our own personal beer Instagrams. I am at Robert_OBC.
Yes, and then I'm at Benjamin_OBC.
So if you would be so kind to give us a follow, give Original Brew Collective a follow. Even more important, we really do appreciate that. And also, give Bottle Logic a follow. They're making some incredible beers. They just released, and I don't know how I feel about it. They recently released, but recently, a matter of weeks ago, released it was like a pumpkin spice inspired.
They didn't.
Stout. They did.
Oh my gosh.
You know what though? Knowing them, it's probably absolutely incredible.
I like pumpkin.
I'm not one for pumpkin spice themed in the fall, but from them and a stout form.
Yeah, I've been in a stout form.
Sounds incredible.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll try to get our hands on that one.
Yeah, that'd be
but
interesting.
in the meantime, thanks for joining. Give us a follow. I almost said Lake. I did say Lake. Like, review, and comment. We're going to close this one out with a cheers. We always close it out with a cheers. Cheers to you, as always. But also cheers to Frank Sinatra, sitting behind us on the wall, looking thirsty.
Dreamy voice.
Thanks, Frank, for all your music.
Yes, thank you.
Cheers to you, Frank.
Cheers.